Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Meyerson, and we are going to review lesson 8.9 in your Go Math books right now. First, let's talk about the skill in lesson 8.9. Lesson 8.9 wants us to look at related addition and subtraction facts, but these addition and subtraction facts, they have two-digit numbers where we're adding and subtracting. Now that seems pretty tough, except if you think about it, related facts really are just fact families. And fact families we've learned in the past. So let's do one really quickly and then we'll talk about how we can apply this to our new lesson. So first of all, a fact family, like I said, has three numbers and they are all related. First, we know that the bottom two numbers will equal the top number. So right away, we know that we can add 3 plus 5, and then we know that this sum is going to be 8. But we also know that we can change the add-ends around, and it will equal the same sum. So if I did 5 plus 3, it's also going to equal 8. Now here is where we talk about related facts. Our next two facts are going to be subtraction, and that's going to show how we can work backwards and kind of undo our addition facts by doing subtraction, because the opposite of addition is subtraction. So when we write our subtraction facts, we're always going to start with the bigger number, or the number we left off with in the sum. So the bigger number is 8, and if we work backwards, we could now take away 5. Before we added 5, now we're going to take it away, and we're going to be left with the third number, which is 3. Same thing for the last fact. In our fact family, we're going to start with the bigger number. We're going to kind of undo what we did before. We added 3. Now we're going to take away 3. And of course, we're going to be left with 5. So that's a fact family, really quick, just to review. So let's apply this to our new lesson 8.9. In lesson 8.9, you're going to use your 100 chart because you're going to be adding double-digit numbers. And these double-digit numbers often have to do with adding tens, okay? So what I'm going to do right now, and if you want to follow along, you can look at page 486 in your Go Math book. And I'm going to go over first the model and draw problems at the top of page 486. So I'm just going to flip my board around because it's clean on the other side. So if you look at the top of page 486, you do have a 100 chart to use. And the 100 chart is the first step. We're going to have to use that to solve an addition problem with double-digit numbers. So they first have 29 plus 40. And we have to determine the sum. What is 29 plus 40? So what that means is that I'm going to find 29 on my number grid, my 100 chart, and I have to add 4 tens, which means that I am going to move down my number grid 4 places, okay? So if I have 29, I'm just going to draw it out here. If I'm at 29, okay, I'm going to move down 1 space, or 1 10, that would take me to 39. If I want to move down another 10 or add another 10, I would be at 49. If you notice, the tens is the only number that's changing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. So I move down 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. That brings me to 69. So I know that 29 plus 49 equals 69. Okay, but now, to grab my eraser, now this is where the related part comes in, because what you are going to practice doing is now writing a subtraction problem, kind of undoing the addition. So in the book, we see that we're going to start at 69 now, and we're going to take away 40. So if I have 69 and I'm taking away 40, what number am I left with? Well, my answer is 29 now. Okay, and you know that related facts just use the same three numbers, okay, just in a different order. So that was just the model and draw at the top of page 486. Why don't we go ahead and do numbers 1 and 2 really quickly on that page. Okay, number 1, okay, we have 56 plus 20. We want to know what that sum is. So of course we're going to use our number grid, our 100 chart. We're going to think about where 56 is on the number grid, and we're going to add 20, or we're going to add 2 10s. And boys and girls, when you are adding 10s on your number grid or your 100 chart, you are moving down the 100 chart. Okay, if we were adding 1s, we would be moving across, but we are not. We are adding 10s, so we are moving down. So if I start at 56, I'm going to add 20, so I'm going to move down 2 10s. So I know that the only number that's going to change is the 10. 5, 56, 66, 76. So I'm moving down the number grid. So my sum is 76. Now, to come up with the related fact for this problem, I'm just going to start with the bigger number to make my subtraction. I'm going to kind of undo the whole thing, and instead I'm going to take away 20. So boys and girls, what am I left with? If I have 76 and now I'm taking away 20, of course I'm going to be left with 56. All right, so that is number 1. Let's do number 2 on page 486. So now they want me to start at 48, and they want us to add 50, or 5 10s. So think about that with your 100 chart. 48, I'm going to move down 5 spaces, or 5 10s. So 1, 58, 2, 68, 3, 78, 4, 88, 5, 98. Can I write it? So there you go. You move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10s, which is 50. And that gives me 98. That is my sum. And you guessed it, we're going to find the related fact, which is the subtraction. We're going to take it away. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to start with 98, and now we're going to subtract 50. And that should just leave us with the first number, 48. So that is really lesson 8.9. What I want you to do is I want you to practice this skill on page 487. It's the next page. I want you to try numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then go to page 488 and just try number 10. Kind of stretch your brains a little bit. All right, boys and girls, thank you for listening to the lesson, and I hope it helped. Bye.